At Zero get brought into the hunters and trained and became that, and then at the same time we're also telling Sigma's story of how the Maverick virus is slowly eating at him and making him who he is today. And just a lot of little fun stuff, and what's cool about it is we're going to be introducing temporarily a brand new 100% original Maverick that's never been done before for the X series, so that'll be cool too, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and I feel like so X1 stuck pretty closely to the game story, and this is X2 is going to be taking just a little more liberties of arranging things for the best story and some surprises that weren't in the game.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about with X2, a lot of fan theories that we could finally either quash or make reality. So we're going to be covering a lot of that stuff. So we're not going to be wasting too much time on just individual robot masters and going through levels and stuff. We're going to really be fleshing out story, characters, and everything that's going on. X2, X3, X4 is when that series really started to dive into the lore and the past of the Mega Man universe, and I want to dive more into that and establish that way more. And so you'll still see all your favorites, Overdrive, Ostrich, and everything if you have a favorite Maverick, but we're going to definitely focus more on just X's past, its connection to Zero, everything like that. If you know, but going deeper into that, especially like where was Wackley all this time? Really important stuff that people have been asking for, no joke, 30 years, and we're going to address that stuff. So.
Awesome. Cool. So moving from wrapping up our first X series to moving into Udon tackling the classic Mega Man characters, we're starting off with Dr. Wily #1, who's going to hit stores in 2 weeks. How fun was it to write Dr. Wily?
Dr. Wily is a blast to write. The only challenge I had was really just how silly versus scary should Wily be, and so really blending those two aspects of his personality was just a treat, and I think we've come up with a very fun story for y'all.
Right on. And there's a one big surprise character who hasn't, nobody really knows he's in it, but he's a big part of the story. So pick it up in 2 weeks. And Dr. Wily actually really kind of serves as a zero issue to the series that Tavis is writing, launching with number 1 in the fall out of Mega Man Gear Masters, which is our version of the Mega Man 11 story. So this is where the Udon version of Mega Man is kind of going to sit mostly at the end of the timeline rather than going through and retelling from the beginning again. So what are we doing for Mega Man Gear Masters, Tavis?
Well, at this point, Mega Man's been at it for quite a while, so really it's more of a retelling of 11 with a few liberties taken. It's what does this bigger world look like if you were to take the 11 game and then extrapolate out from there, like it was set in Mega Man's real world. So we'll see him, meet some old friends, some familiar faces, but really tackle like all of the 11 robot masters, and he's just trying to survive.
Yeah. I'd say
survival is the key word.
Mega Man has a rough time in this series.
Yes.
It's not easy. He's not good. That's an example of things that are coming for Mega Man. But he'll be okay. I think he'll win in the end, I hope. Also, these covers that are in the middle here are by Tavis. Tavis does some cool stuff. Now, I posted this number on my Twitter, just saying we're doing a San Diego Comic-Con announcement. I just posted this number, and so many people got excited about it. So if you know, the Archie Mega Man comics went 55 issues, and people have been asking, are you going to continue the Archie universe at all? Because a lot of people really loved it, and yes, we are, with Mega Man Adventures #0. You see on the side there says Chapter 56, so that's going to kind of be our legacy numbering, where we keep track of, you can see where it fits into the old comics. This picks up right where the last Archie issue left off, written by Ian Flynn, who wrote all the Archie comics, art by Chad Thomas, who was one of the Archie artists, and even colors by Matt Herbs, who also worked on those books. So we got the whole team back together, and this starts in the era of Mega Man 4, which is the next story they had planned to do if Archie hadn't ended their series. So this is going to be a one-shot, but it's absolutely to be continued at the end. So if you guys pick it up, we'll move this to its own miniseries and give you more adventures in that universe. And there's definitely characters and elements that are unique to the Archie universe that will show up even just as one shot. So grab that either November or December, deciding where to launch it, but probably at the end of the year. So, everybody excited about that? Ooh. Slide this, so let's see. Oh, here we go. Udon is publishing Common America Alpha Volume 1. So Common America is a Japanese-ish style superhero created by Timothy Lim and Mark Pellegrini. And the comic series is released in comic stores by Dr. Press, I believe, yeah. And Tim and Mark did this one-shot reimagining as it's like a manga style volume, so it's like 190 pages. Reimagining her origin in a manga style. And they did a small Kickstarter for it, but we're going to be releasing it in bookstores, comic stores, so if you missed out on it through their Kickstarter, you can get it in your regular shop. So that'll be super fun. We've also done a lot of crossover covers with Common America, like she meets Street Fighter characters or Darkstalkers characters, so you might have seen them on some of the variant covers as well. So coming out this fall, and now we're moving on to manga. So first, I'm just going to mention that Veil Volume 5 and 6 are coming out this fall. I believe Volume 5 is October and then Volume 6 early next year. And every volume has been sold out several times. We're going to fourth or third printings on all of these volumes 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you see it in the store right now, go grab it if you don't want to have to wait a few months. But Veil is a kind of a will they, won't they romance between a police officer and an heiress. And it's just short little 8, 12-page stories where they just kind of try to out-clever each other. Their dialogue. It's gorgeous full-color artwork, and it's been a big hit for us. And if you like this type of a book, we're kind of expanding it into a line. And the first new edition will be Department Store Waltz. Eric, did you want to talk about what Department Store Waltz?
So Department Store Waltz is actually something similar to Veil by Matsuo Hiromi. It's beautiful artwork. She is a very well-known illustrator in Japan, but she's doing this as almost like an anthology book of her own work. And this book, it's talking about it's a very retro feel to it, almost Art Deco type feel, and it's back in the days in I think it's a
1920s.
Yeah, 1920, 1930-ish vibe. What the department stores look like, because in Japan, department stores is a big deal. Like here we have, like the big department stores, but Japan, they have even a bigger deal with many big department stores, companies doing things, and until now they still have Daimaru, and all those places everywhere. So department store culture is a big thing in Japanese history. So this book is kind of creating the vibe of the 1920s and 30s era of how department stores stories are. You have
there's a chapter about the makeup department. There's a chapter about the women's wear department. A chapter about housewares and furniture.
And also, there are pin-ups of retro ads of cosmetics or fashion ads and those kind of things. So it's really, really beautiful, very, very heartfelt on how she feels about that kind of that era of shopping in Japan.
Cool. And we have another project from Hiromi Matsuo. So this is it's in our manga. I put it in the manga section just because we talked about that book, but this is really an art book. You guys can pull this up. So Rondo, the ladies' graphic magazine, is kind of like a fictional ladies' magazine that's full of fashion ads and movie ads, and there's also a few short stories in it. So this is just a gorgeous, elegant artwork. I gave a few pages in here to show all the different types of things that are in this book.
They even have movie ads, kind of spy movie or something like that.
That's this one here on the top right. It's a full spy movie ad. So if you love just this elegant artwork, check out Rondo the Ladies magazine. Latest graphic magazine. And then tying into all these things we've just talked about, we're also going to be publishing Belle Ruelle, which is French for Beautiful Alley. And this is an anthology series by a whole bunch of creators that are also in that same vein, where they do full color, elegant artwork. And both of the creators you just mentioned are in there. Terry from Veiled does a short story, and Mitso does a short story. I think this is her short story right here in the middle. So if you just can't get enough of these creators that we're doing these full color elegant books, you can pick up Bella Ruel, and this is going to be a series. I think in Japan it's up to at least 4 volumes so far.
Yeah, we signed all 4 volumes to date, and we're definitely going to continue the whole series. Same as Dale, we announced just now, Dale 5 and 6, but we actually just signed volume 7 as well. So absolutely, these will be all continuation. And the department vaults and magazine Rondo will be a one-shot.
Cool. Next up, Udon's manga biography series is continuing. So we've already published Charles M. Schultz. Now these are just retelling their lives from when they were maybe a little kid until they passed away eventually. And our next 2 titles will be Amelia Earhart, who everyone knows is a famous pilot, and Momofuku Ando, who is the inventor of instant noodles. Marshall has been working on these 2 new ones. Can you tell us about them, Marshall?
Sure, yeah. Obviously, Momofuku Ando is a very interesting character. The story covers his early days and going through the war and dealing with the process of creating food for the masses. And it's a very interesting biography of somebody who's very little known, but who has created and impacted such a broad spectrum of people across the world. So that's a very great one. Obviously, Amelia Earhart, most people know who she is, but most people don't know her backstory and her life and how it developed and how she became the woman that she is or was. So 2 very fantastic volumes, but again, just the beginning of a grand series of biographies we're launching.
Yeah, we actually have over 20 books lined up, and as it goes, we will keep announcing them.
Can we tell them the next 2 or no? We can. So the next, we've got an interesting such a variety of people. The next 2 are going to be Princess Diana and Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs. So all kinds of interesting figures in this line. And then after that, we get to a lot more Americana people like Amelia Earhart here, and like European historical, maybe musical people, or things like that.
Yeah, we have like Thomas Edison in the line, Chopin, Beethoven.
Yeah, so there's quite a lot of
Van Gogh. You have like all sorts of like a spectrum of really, really interesting people to read about.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of these available in Japan, so we've pulled from a few different publishers the titles we think that North Americans are going to like the best.
And these are fantastic for kids as well. Obviously, they're sort of an entry point to learn about history and historical figures. And the content itself is very approachable. None of it's adult or even skewed higher teen. But to say that it's not dumbed down for children, it's just very accessible for them as well. So
you guys can all get the Charles Schultz one right now.
Yeah.
It's out in bookstores, Amazon, everywhere. That one's actually really, really good because we did the production in conjunction with the Charles Schultz Foundation. The people in the family actually helped out doing all the checking, and they do a lot of suggestions on the editorial and everything. So everything was legit. It's not like just, there's a lot of like these biographies out there that's like just throwing out there, money grabbing, and just like, it's not checked. It's not,
authentic.
genuine. What we're doing right now is we want to have the most accurate and genuine version, to present to the audience, especially the kids. So this is what I've been always trying to do. From my own manga classics books to Udon's manga biography line. It's something that I want to. I was doing it like basically initially for my daughter, and I want to extend it to do it for the kids to have something like good to read.
yeah. And then just to speak about Charles Schultz for a second, the art in that is really, really cute. It's drawn really well, and it's a really fantastic look at his entire life. So
It's a very B shonen Charles Schultz. Cool. Next up, we are doing a new line of books, Ume's Tomes of Horror. Now, anybody knows Junji Ito, who is, one of the most famous manga horror artists there is. This is his. I tried to look into it, and they didn't really super know each other. But Kazuo Umezu was one of Junji Ito's biggest influences. So we're talking like one generation just before him, doing some great horror stories. What do you want to say about it, Eric?
So, like, if you are following Japanese horror mangas, you heard of this name, Umezu. Umezu Sensei's most famous work is The Drifting Classroom. And then, actually, he has a lot of horror manga. He was like branded the king of horror in Japan. And then, Junji Ito Sensei comes around as the new generation of the king of horror. So, Umezu Sensei basically brought horror to manga as a genre. There were lots of stories that were never collected. There's a couple of things here and there of Umezu Sensei stuff that has been published in North America. I think Seven Seas just announced his Ultraman work, but we decided to actually dive in with his whole library to bring in all his long and short stories into this total horror line. So this is an 11-book series for the first series, and actually there is a second series that we're going to do after this. So we'll be bringing all of his horror manga archive into English.
Yeah. Each volume has 2 or 3 stories in it, all grouped together in a certain theme. Like the Serpent is kind of these reptilian horror stories, and the Abomination is kind of like end of the world stories. So each volume has like a bit of a theme with a few different stories in it. And the first one, Serpent, is going to be launching this fall. And just a few reminders of some of our ongoing series. More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers. This one's about a boy and a girl who are in a marriage class in Japan, and it's a class of like how to have a successful marriage when you're an adult. And they're paired up, but they really don't like each other. But if they pass the first semester, then they get to choose their own partners for the next semester. So they got a couple that really can't stand each other, trying to be the best, pretend to be the best married couple for a whole semester.
Yeah, so this one has a great fan base. We brought Kamono Sensei over to Anime Expo 2 years ago, and the following has been great because due to everybody knows the Diamond bankruptcy situation. There's a lot of rescheduling, and we have to bring on a lot of things to accommodate for the distribution change and everything. Now that everything kind of settled down after a year or so, these books are actually getting back on track to getting published. So number 3 is
Number 3 is out now.
Now, yeah.
And number 4 in the fall.
Should be coming out like October, something like that.
Yeah, around that.
Same as this series.
Yeah, My Stepmom's Daughters, My Ex is about a couple that breaks up and then...
Yeah, but then ended up, the parents hold up.
Yeah, their parents get married. So they have to live together, this broken up couple, driving each other nuts. This one, Volume 3, comes out, I think, next month, and Volume 4 later in the fall. But this is at least based on a light novel series.
Also
Yusuke Kamishiro is the original writer, and then Rei Kusakabe, they are the manga version writer in those. So that's still going, and also we just released the first 2 volumes of Blue Archive, which is based on the video game. It's kind of like a tactical squad building game, and the world of it is like a world where like everybody's a student and all of society is based around academia. So these are short stories by a whole bunch of different creators in the Blue Archive universe. So Volume 1 and 2 are out now. Volume 3 coming out in the next couple months. I think it's a September book. And there's quite a lot of volumes in Japan. I think it's up to 7 or 8 now. So if you guys like it, we'll keep doing it for sure.
Yeah, and we're trying to expand our Blue Archive publishing plan to possibly like art books and stuff like that too. And we're working on that to be announced.
Yeah, lots more Blue Archive. jump into art books. So our big book of the show is the SNK Masterwork Shinkiro and Capcom Masterwork Shinkiro. So these books cover Shinkiro's entire career, 10 years at SNK and 25 years at Capcom. He's worked on so many things, every SNK property, Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, Samurai Showdown, King of Fighters, yeah, all the King of Fighters, and a whole bunch of games that are obscure. Metal Slug, I freaking love Metal Slug. And a bunch of like sports games, space shooter games, all kinds of stuff in the SNK volume. And then in Capcom, he's worked on Capcom vs. SNK, of course, but also Capcom Fighting Jam, Resident Evil titles, Dead Rising, Street Fighter, Mega Man, all kinds of things. There's also a lot of, let's say, guest things and crossovers and fan arts he did, and we promised we wouldn't use them to promote the book, but there's a lot of stuff in there. If you've seen Shakira draw it, it's in here.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that he draws privately. He's doing it for himself, and it was like, can we put it in the book? There was like a Batman piece and a Hellboy piece, and it was just fan art that he did. But then because of our relationship with many publishers, we managed to actually get approvals to put all those in. So it would be like never before seen by public.
Yeah, Jim Lee was nice enough to approve the Batman piece, and Mike Mignola approved the Hellboy piece. So there's that cool stuff in there, and then all kinds of crossovers, you know, Ninja Turtles and High Score Girl, all kinds of things are in these books. But
You know, the only one we cannot get it in is a Star Wars piece.
maybe I'll post that online for fun eventually. But yeah, they're both about one's 264 pages and one's 272, and they're just packed with things. They also each have an interview. There's like part 1 of the interview and part 2 of the interview in the 2 books. You'll find out why Shinkiro moved from SNK to Capcom. It's actually very heartwarming, the story. So check that out in the book. We also still have copies for sale at the booth, but the Capcom one is a little lower in stock because we're known for more Capcom stuff. But get it soon if you want to get it now, because the actual book isn't going to come out until December. The standard edition without the photo cover that we have here.
Matt, do we have that on the web store too?
Yes, you can also pre-order it on our web store. You can pre-order you can order the deluxe edition on our web store, and we'll start shipping them in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, for your information though, the deluxe edition is only limited to $1,000.
Yes.
So once they're gone, they're going to not be reprinted. The foil one will not be reprinted.
Yeah. And next up, we talked about this last year, Hidetaka Tenjin's Artistry of Gundam. Tenjin-san is mainly known as a model kit artist, like doing the cover art for the model kits. He's known for not just doing Macross, and what he did a lot of first, and now he's been doing a lot of Gundam in recent years.
Well, we did a lot of Star Wars as well.
Yes, he also did a lot of Star Wars art. And this is besides one other book for like Gundam Wing back in like the early 2000s, this is the only Gundam art book to ever be released in English, as far as we know.
Well, it's definitely the very first English original Gundam project in the world. We have the honor to work with Bandai directly and work with Tenjin Sensei directly to make this happen. There are 2 versions of the book. The first one will be a regular edition that will be in stores, which is a standard art book size. And then, you know, for people who came to a panel last year, you saw the mock-up of the large size, we call it UC edition, which stands for Udon Custom, but it's also like a Easter egg for UC as Universal Century. So it's called the UC edition, which is like a huge, big one that you can see the artwork in the full glory. That one is also a limited run of 1,000, so again, it's available on our website. It's going to be shipping,
It's on a boat.
I think
It's either on a boat or on a boat.
Yeah, so we'll be shipping like really soon. Because I think the pallet arrived in the warehouse like yesterday or something while we were here. So it will be processed and shipping soon. And anybody who pre-ordered it, but now you can actually get it like quick. The actual, I think the regular small version, like the standard edition, that one is going to be in stores sometime in October.
Yeah. Cool. And yeah, we announced this earlier this year. We're doing the English edition of the Artist Obscure Expedition 33. This is a gorgeous art book based showing all the art from the video game. There's actually quite a lot. You can see it on these pages. There's quite a lot of interviews and like history of the development of the game in this book as well. We sold the deluxe. We did pre-orders for the deluxe edition, and Udon has sold through their initial allotment, but we might put up a few more once we see that everyone gets their copies and not too many, nobody gets them damaged in shipping or anything like that. But if you missed out on the deluxe edition, I think you can still get it from the IGN website. And the standard edition is coming in November, which is the book itself is the same. Just the deluxe edition came with a nice little box. But this was the game of the year. I think at most like Game Awards last year, and we're really excited that we can add this to the Udon lineup. And the last item in the art books is Spy Family Animation Art Book. And this is collects all the character designs and promo artwork and everything from the anime. From I think the first season specifically, right?
This one, yes, it's the first. I think it's the first 2 seasons.
First 2 seasons.
This one is a very extensive art book with many design drawings and settings and everything. The Japanese, there is a Japanese edition, of course, it's based on the Japanese edition, but the Udon book actually has an extra 24 page of illustration gallery that we requested to add on. So there's really way more art in there too. So if you're familiar with Spy Family, every episode at the end there's like an end cut, and all the end cuts actually in this book. And then we have other illustrations that is done for other magazines, other promo illustrations and everything. That they're all included in those extra 24 pages. There's a section in the back also, it's, like showing you how the opening and the ending is created, with notes and explanations and stuff, which is very intuitive. Many other design drawings that you see, from interior settings to character expressions. If you're a Spy Family fan, if you're an animation fan, you should definitely check this out.
Cool. That's all the titles we've brought to talk about. We've got about 15 minutes left. Anybody has any questions for the Mega Man comic writers? Questions about projects he likes to do or projects that are coming up?
Yes.
So this is more of a selfish request. I'm a very huge fan of Sandro-san's work, Jessica Sandrovich, that does Kenga Natura, or like Carry Heavy Dumbbells, I think is the English name. Any chance that you guys know about his other work, which is Star Striker Ridge?
I didn't hear. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you repeat the question, please?
So the one of the creators I follow is Jakub Sandrovich,
Okay.
which is the creator of Kengan Ashura, which is a fighting manga very similar to Baki the Grappler.
Right.
And they did a commercial. And one of his work currently is not getting a lot of attention, but I think it should, is Star Striker Ridge, which is a fighting manga, but it's mostly female fighting, like MMA style.
The one that Drax showed us.
Oh,
Same one.
one of our artists just apparently showed us this.
Yeah,
animation.
one of our artists actually just recommended this, so we kind of, it's new. Like I haven't been caught up on a lot of mangas, so it's one of our artists actually showed us yesterday. So
Okay, that's good.
It's like, oh, interesting. So I'm going to look into it after the show, read a little bit of it to see what's going on. I can't promise anything, of course, because I don't even know it's licensed already by someone else. But I am actually like intrigued by it when the artist showed me yesterday. But
Okay.
Next question.
You guys mentioned that when you were making the Mega Man X comics, like one of your most important things to you was getting it accurate to the games. What was an aspect from the game that you would say is the most important to correctly adapt?
Well, outside of boss orders, that was really, even when I was deciding like what levels to feature, what fabrics, it was like, does it have a capsule in it? Because that could be a story element. The way that I would tackle the writing is because a long time ago, Miyamoto, who created Super Mario, he talked about how there's, if you look at the first level of Super Mario, there's like a story element. So what's with that flagpole at the end? And he goes into a castle. There's something there that's never established. So it's the same thing with Mega Man. When you have these games from Nintendo and Super Nintendo era, there's so much stuff going on that's never obvious from a storytelling element. So when I was doing that, I was like, well, every time we're gonna have a capsule, let's explain why it's there. You know, like in video game logic, the block is just floating in the air, and we just accept that. You know, and it's gonna have a mushroom in it. In real life logic, we have to explain why that block is there. We have to explain why the mushroom's in it. In the case of Mega Man, we have to explain why the capsule is there. So being able to do that and make that still make sense in the video game world, being accurate to it, but adding realism. Well, it was dug up because it was archaeology, and Dr. Kane was an archaeologist, and that's how we found Mega Man X in it initially. So that's kind of one of the most important things I wanted to bring to it is be true to the source material, but also try to get past some of the little video game hiccups that we've kind of just gotten used to throughout the years, you know? An empty pit that goes to nowhere. Well, maybe we could make sense with that a little bit, you know? So that's one of them. I mean, there's many I could probably think of, but that's probably the most important one. Yeah. Any other questions?
Have to speak up.
I missed the beginning, so apologies, but was there any update to share on Worlds Collide or Worlds Unite?
Well, yeah, so if you don't know, Worlds Collide is the Mega Man Sonic crossover that Archie Comics did. They did 2 different crossovers at different times. And to publish that, there are 5 companies that all need to agree and be on board with it. And this time, one of them is not on board. So, but they said, you know, not right now, but maybe sometime. So we have asked everybody about it, and we just can't do it right now. But we do really want to. In the meantime, you've got 4 volumes of hardcover Archie collections that are coming as well.
Pre-ordered.
Awesome. You here in the white shirt at the front.
Yeah, just small thing, going back to the old Archie stuff, specifically for Engelman. Did you consider any of what Ian did with the Dawn of X?
I wanted to look more at what Inafune-san envisioned in his mind, again, going back to the source. Ian stuff is great, it's just, I want to kind of do what he was doing. The only time I ever pulled from anything else was the original X manga. They had a few little things that I liked from that, specifically female characters, because the X series, unfortunately, X1 to X3, there's 0 female characters. And then you get to X4, and it's like, here's Iris, and now she's dead. Spoiler on a 30-year-old video game. So I wanted to really flower that out, and I pulled stuff from, you know, Inafune before he left Capcom, when he did the PSP X game, he created Minerva. She wasn't called Minerva back then, that was something I kind of put together. But he created Minerva, and then there was some concept art that kind of floated around with this blue-haired navigator, and I was like, oh, here's Luna, we'll bring her in. So I would pull from little things here and there when I feel like to grow the universe, but in general I focus on just Inafune's vision from 93, 94, 95, and everything
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, there's 100 some odd years between
Oh, yeah.
classic and X series. So
And he-
that stuff, you can explain a lot.
He had a lot of vision of stuff that he never got to put in a game, just because of the limitations of what existed back then of a Super Nintendo cartridge. So I look at old interviews from Figure King magazine going all the way back to 93, 94, and if he says something, I jot that down and go, oh, okay, you wanted to do like a flight mode, and maybe, oh, this was a prototype. Like there's this great piece of art it's a prototype of Mega Man X, like that he drew before the final design that we know today. And I'm like, I gotta fit that in somewhere at some point. Maybe Dr. Light will have that in the background on screen, just to have to honor the history of that brand. It's 40. Next year is going to be 40 years of Mega Man. It's going to be an amazing year next year, and there's so much great stuff to pull from that to just have fun. And the fans that know, they know, and they appreciate it. You know, so thanks for all the love and support for that. You know?
And just on the subject of like how we're sort of treating the Archie stuff and Ian Flynn's work on the classic end is that's one of the reasons we decided to set our comics kind of at the end of the timeline, Mega Man 11 and the upcoming Dual Override, just because we thought, oh, we might eventually want to go back and let Ian tell some stories in the earlier period of Mega Man, and now we are. So we're not telling the same type of stories at the
It's
same
not
time.
overlapping.
Yeah. So they're not the same universe, but we're gonna sort of let Ian play with those characters, and we're gonna play with the later characters. Cool.
The gentleman at the back, you have a question?
Yeah.
I was also late. Are you guys by any chance going to do a more expanded run of Mega Man Legends?
It was not in the presentation, but David, who wrote the Mega Man Legends Timelines one-shot, is working on a Mega Man Legends project right now. So it's in the writing stage right now. We will be doing that.
We got the cover sketches.
And we got cover reps from Mick Fong. So basically the same team that did the one-shot is going to be doing a mini-series.
Yeah, so I'm curious, how did the partnership begin with
Oh, we just known them for years. Tim would submit to our tribute books. We do like once every year, every couple years, we do like Street Fighter tribute, Darkstalker tribute, Mega Man tribute, where we take open submissions and then take the best 300 entries and put them in a book. And Tim is one of those guys who would be submitting entries when he was, kind of still like a pro, but we weren't super aware of him. But and then as it went on, just because I know Tim, he asked, could we do a Common America Street Fighter crossover cover? Like, yeah, we'll see if Capcom likes it. And Capcom said that's cool. And then we did a Darkstalkers one. And yeah, now we're publishing the Common America Alpha graphic novel. And I probably should have said this. We're doing a Common America Street Fighter crossover comic.
I think you mentioned it a little.
I don't know if I mentioned it. We're doing an actual crossover comic. The sign-up page. So the Tim and the Common America guys are gonna run it on their Kickstarter page. So there's a Kickstarter sign-up right now for Common America Project X, and it should be changing right about like this second to say Street Fighter Cross Common America is the project it's gonna be. So Tim and Mark are having lots of fun making those characters meet up for the first time. Thanks for the question. I got to advertise that Kickstarter.
In the corner. The back corner.
Since Tifa's coming to Street Merchants next year, will Tifa be in the swimsuit circle?
I don't know yet. Sometimes the guest characters are complicated, but we definitely have a request at Capcom. What are we allowed to do with Tifa? So we'll find out soon.
Going back, I have this special letter having circle probably for Shantae. I'm wondering if it's ever going to be like sort of a small series of a one shot, like just a Shantae comic or Shantae manga, just to go in and just got a lot of work with through all the games, like
Yeah, we actually were really bugging Matt and Aaron Bozon, like, can we please do Shantae Comics or Shantae Graphic Novel or something? And they are super excited to do it. Just Matt that's a character that they very protect, and they're very it's very precious to them. So they want to do it. Just Matt has to write it himself. So he's got to find some time to write the comic. And he's got a new game coming out at the same time, so he's trying to fit it in here and there. But we definitely want to do Shantae Comics. Tweet at Matt on Twitter. Tell him,
Yeah,
man, we really want you to write that comic so I can buy it.
Any other questions?
Are there any plans for any Monster Hunter illustration books, anything like that?
Monster Hunter illustration books, something that we have been trying to do more. There are a couple other ones that we publish in Japan, and like various license some, the Monster Hunter World one. So you can get that one. It's like a good friend of ours, so no competition here. We can't compete with them. They're the biggest one over there, right? But we've always been constantly looking out for more Monster Hunter stuff for sure. Like we did the Monster Hunter shirt. Actually, me and Taylor is working on a whole bunch of Monster Hunter pins now for next year. We love the property. There'll be a lot of stuff, like happening, and then we're constantly looking for more books too. But right now, we have nothing to announce.
There is a bunch of Monster Hunter stuff in the Capcom Masterworks Shakira book.
Yeah. And there was another hand just now. Yes, okay.
What's the release timeline for the Mega Man Adventures hardcovers?
So number 1 is at our warehouse right now. If you ordered through the crowdfunding campaign, you that'll be going out right after the convention when all of our booth staff gets back to the warehouse. And the in-store edition is being shipped out from our distributor to Amazon right now. So that'll also be like in Amazon, things like that in a couple weeks. So that's volume 1. And then we're gonna try to make them about every 6 months. We might do 3 and 4 faster. Maybe we'll do them at the same time just to finish it off. But let's see. Cool, fast enough?
Sounds great.
Okay. And each volume of the Mega Man Adventures hardcovers, it collects about 12 issues of the Archie run, and there is a short 6-page story, like brand new story in each volume as well. So there's new adventures there too. And we'll eventually probably do it as its own collection, but you'll have to wait like 2 years for that.
So one last question.
Are there any future plans for any other Capcom comic stories, like Dino Crisis or?
Well, how about this? Our next Street Fighter series has a lot of guests in it from other things. So, trying to guess what properties that might be that create characters that they haven't met before. So, not Darkstalkers, not Rivals.
You wanted to ask him?
I have one question.
Okay.
Will you guys do anything with Project? Thank you. Will you guys do anything with like Project Cross Zone?
I'd love to. There is a Project Cross Zone piece in the Shinkiro Capcom art book. We had to get civic permission from Sagato Sanshiro's actor. What's his name? You know.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm
On the
he's
spot.
He's the first comment writing guy, so I should have known.
Yeah. But that's in the art book. But that is.
Fujio, that's it.
You know, I talked about how many people it would take to do the Clydes thing. This is another whole bunch of people that would have to. We do all know those people, but they don't have to get on board in the same place.
We really like crossovers. I think it's going to be exciting. Secretly, we are doing something, planning something right now. If it works out, you will see a much more exciting landscape on fighting game comics soon.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I can say right now.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for coming out, guys.
Well, go to